off like a vomiting dog.
Hello, welcome back to Naughty Boy Fight Picks. I'm one of the hosts, Todd.
I'm the other host, Paige Van Zandt.
Matt, what would you say if I said I could get my hands on some official UFC merchandise?
I'd say that you're probably thinking about reaching out and snatching this hat off the top of my head.
Perhaps. It's a nice hat. I just noticed you're wearing that.
This is an official walkout hat. This came out with Dan Kelly's corner when he fought Tom Breeze.
Yeah. Do you know how much he got a sweat on before he entered the octagon?
I think it came off his coach, who's a sweaty man by nature.
Is that Andy?
Yeah. Yeah, Andrew Colger.
Shout out to Coach Andy. Alright, it's been a while, hasn't it?
It's been a little bit. It's been a hot minute. It was Christmas Eve. Boxing Day. Oh no, you've been back since.
Yeah, and that last video was on the 31st.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. We don't know dates and stuff like that.
I'm your co-host, Paige Van Zandt.
We needn't adhere to constructs like dates and times.
We're here to bend the time-space continuum.
Fuck yeah. Alright, so yeah, as I said, it's been a while. It's been a wild few weeks in our lives, a lot going on, but we've managed to get our shit together somewhat. Couple talking points before we get into this card. The last live chat we did, fucking excellent, right?
It was hilarious. I like doing the live chats.
So good. So we'd implore people to join us for the live chat.
From the depth of our balls.
Yeah. Is that where we're imploring them from, or that's where the live chat's taking place?
Yeah, no, that's where we're employing them from.
Okay, yeah. So we'd implore you from that depth to join us for the live chat, which will follow the event straight away, pretty much, depending on how drunk we are. Something about the live chat that I noted afterwards, I was like, fuck, everyone in the live chat is real funny.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's very flattering that people with sharp wit, intelligence would spend time on our live chat. It's very flattering.
Yeah, it is. Because we're also witty, humorous, exceptionally good looking.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. I was like, these people are definitely funnier than me.
Yeah.
Why are they on my live chat?
Yeah, I don't know.
But please do join. Get amongst it in the comments. Be funny. Be serious. Be a participant. Be
strong.
Be strong. All right. To that point, also, just want to bring up the Patreon again. We got some plans to launch that soon. Hopefully people are interested. We're going to have more things happening with the podcast, and we're working on some rewards for patrons, which will be really cool rewards and only available if you are a Patreon. So we'll work towards that in the next couple months as we get our feet planted back on the ground.
Yep.
So as for this card, this is the first ESPN event.
Yeah.
Which is kind of exciting. What are your thoughts, Matty? Do you think it's going to look different or feel different, or?
I'd say they'll have to kind of go for a point of difference. Like, I'm a massive American sports fan, and it's not like the most readily accessible kind of media in Australia. Like, you need pay TV to access it, which for the people watching from America, that might seem just like a strange concept, but you have to pay quite a lot for pay TV to watch it. And I really enjoy ESPN's brand, and I enjoy watching the NFL on there, the basketball, so I'm excited to see what they come up with for this one.
Yeah. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that Americans need cable to access most of that shit. Yeah.
Damn, there you go.
I've heard some people talking about it. I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but I suspect that's the case.
Yeah.
The thing I'm most interested in is whether there's going to be less bullshit. Like less crossing to the desk to talk between fights, just the killing time shit. I'm hoping that the pacing gets faster, so it's like fight, little bit of shit, fight, little bit fight.
Yeah, I'm also sure like the ESPN brand, like for the other American sports, features quite a lot of panel discussion and like there's even some quite a few programs that are entirely dedicated to discussing like stats and predictions and stuff. So I'm not sure if we'll see a reduction in it, but my feel is that might even see more of that kind of stuff happen.
Fuck my life.
As long as it doesn't have Woodley in it.
Yeah, what's got me hopeful is that this is a 6-fight main card. I'm like, well, that's a lot of fights to squeeze into that slot. So
it is true.
We shall see what happens. With that, let's get into this card.
Let's rip into it,
Let's
mate.
rip the fuck into it. It's UFC on ESPN +1. Brooklyn,
Yeah.
Cejudo versus Dillashaw.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's pretty wild.
That's way too much to have to say.
A fight that was scheduled for a little bit earlier too, wasn't it? So this is a little bonus. Wasn't this one originally supposed to be on the New Year's Eve card? Or the 30th?
I think you could be right. I can't recall though. Nonetheless, let's get into this card. First fight of the evening. Bout change pretty late in the piece here. It was supposed to be Glover Teixeira versus Ion Cutelaba. Now we've got Glover Teixeira versus Carl Baby K Roberson.
Can we just talk for a second as to what happened to the original fight that was lined up?
What did happen?
Well, I don't know. Why did he get pulled off? He looks like he's done all of the steroids.
Oh, Cutelaba, yeah.
Yeah. We saw Cutelaba fight. Was it in Auckland that we saw him fight? I think it might have been his debut, and he just...
Did he fight in Auckland?
I think he fought in Auckland. Came out to some crazy sounding communist dance music.
Oh, he
and wore rainbow Randy Man Savage glasses.
Yeah, that's right. I remember the Randy Man Savage glasses. I'm just looking up the reason he was pulled now. Well, it says he withdrew, so I'm guessing that's an injury.
Because it was him and Lineker. That was the other fight that was pulled, wasn't it?
The other thing too, now that USADA doesn't announce a abnormality or a positive test, now you could see this fighter's just pulling without any official word.
Yeah.
So it's saying
due to unknown reasons, I reckon. So that could be a fair indication.
That sounds suspect. And it was him and Lineker.
Lineker's got a rib injury or an injury to his chest or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, regardless, we end up with this fight, which is a fighter fresh to the UFC, and he's had one fight in the UFC versus a vet.
I think he's had three
fights. There you go. Yeah, so he's on the contender. But he came from the contender series.
Yeah, and I believe he's 2-1. He had a loss to Cesar Ferreira, who is obviously jiu-jitsu champion, and he subbed him. So let's just start typing in Ferreira. Yeah, so he got subbed. That's a learning curve, but he's an experienced fighter. Not so much in MMA. What is he in MMA? 7-1.
You've watched quite a bit of tape on this guy, eh? What's your thoughts? Because
he's 6-1.
6-1.
But he's got an extensive kickboxing record. Former Glory fighter.
Yeah.
So obviously he's a fucking good striker.
Yeah.
He looks really athletic. He's super fast. On the feet, real comfortable, man. So he'll often have a low guard and bait punches. Head movement, out the way of punches, and then come back with really, really snappy. Particularly his cross is really snappy and fast.
And he's a southpaw too, right? Yeah. So that's his main weapon.
Yeah, and then he's got a really nice kick on the left side as well.
Yeah, look, I've only seen 2 fights of his. One went for 15 seconds, which was in the contender series where he fought one of the other guys that actually got a UFC contract.
Oh, so you were saying who it was before?
Yeah, I can't remember. But what that fight looked like was the other fella shot on a takedown on him. They ended up in the clinch, and he got him with a short range elbow behind the ear, and that was good night. But I do remember his fight against Marshman, who, much like Glover, is a really accomplished boxer, but quite big for the weight division in terms of stature-wise, not tall and rangy, and it was a real difference of speed in that, and I think that's probably akin to what we'll see in this fight.
Yeah, I think I think a guy this fast and athletic, there's no way he doesn't land on Glover and an old Glover. Like, Glover's got some tricky veteran type boxing.
Yeah.
But I just think the speed difference and athleticism difference is going to be too much here. I can't see him not touching Glover. And then in regards, you might think a guy 6-1 in MMA coming over from Glory may be susceptible in the wrestling and grappling.
Yeah.
But this guy's come out and he's got submissions on his record. And that fight with Marshman hurt his foot, took the fight to the ground, controlled really well.
Yeah.
He looks strong and powerful, man. So I think he keeps us standing. Glover may shoot on him once he gets tagged.
Yeah.
I don't know if Glover's going to complete takedowns on this guy.
And man, if he screws the takedown attempt up, he'll do what he did to Ryan Spann and it was Ryan Spann. The Contender Series short range elbow. So he's dangerous from that position in the clinch as well.
Yeah. So, and it's interestingly, Roberson only has 2 KOs on his record as a striker who looks really fast and powerful. But I think if he touches Glover a few times, he's going to go down. So I'm picking Roberson by KO here.
Sure.
What do you got?
Well, yeah. Look, I think this is going to be a kickboxing fight, and I think that's if Cal plays it smart, he'll play that game at range, and he'll piece Glover up from the outside. I see how that goes. I'm not so sure about Glover being able to be put away in 3 rounds by Carl. So yeah, I'm going decision to Carl.
Let's just have a quick look at see what's been happening with Glover. So he's been knocked out 3 times in total in a long career.
Yeah, he's tough, man. He's super tough. He fought Corey Anderson last.
So there was that one by Gus, and that was in the 5th round.
Yeah.
Then Anthony Johnson in 13 seconds. Anyone can get knocked out by Anthony Johnson. And he just went to decision with the pillow-fisted Corey Anderson. And before that, he had the KO of Misha Serkinov. So, yeah, Glover ain't looked terrible lately.
No, man, Glover's a G. He's been around for a long time, and he's fought the best of the best. But, he is a vet. Like, he's pushing 40, and speed's gonna matter in this fight.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the big difference. You're going to be looking at 2 guys. One's going to look old, and one's not going to look old.
Kind of like what you see right here.
Who are you talking about? All right, on to the next fight of the night. We have... What have I done? Here it is. Paige Van Zant versus Rachel Ostovich. Van Zant 7-4. Ostovich 4-4. Do you want me to lead off with this one?
Well, go.
All right.
Go hard on the paint.
Not very interested in this fight. I think this is one of those ones where they've put it in a big slot for reasons other than the skills. But nonetheless, Paige Van Zant's done some things. We've seen her do some cool shit, like that fucking kick to Beck Rawlins' fucking face.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't think she's a great fighter, but I do fancy her over Ostovich, who is she's not very mobile, not very athletic.
Yeah.
And I just think PVZ will be busier and will outpoint her.
Well, I think the thing with Paige Van Zant is she's lost 3 out of her last 4 fights. What that's resulted in is a step back in competition, hence this fight. When she's looked good when she pushes the pace, accepts the clinch, and she's actually got some really nice takedowns and can work when she keeps the pace up and applies constant pressure. So I think if she can do that, that'll be her key to victory here. But despite that knockout of Beck Rawlings, who I don't rate at all anyway, when she's on the outside and she's trying to play that technical kicking game, she doesn't look good.
Yeah.
And she doesn't look good. And then if we consider that her recipe to success, that she needs to be in close and grinding and pushing the pressure, and her weakness is that she's on the outside, I think that's then Ostovich's key to success is get her engaged in a technical striking match where Ostovich can actually get the takedown, because she's won fights by getting top position and grinding that out.
Yeah.
So I think if she can get Paige Van Zandt on the outside engaged in a striking match, that kind of flicky style of kicks will then lend to a takedown of Ostovich. If she can get on top, she can get the victory. But I think Paige Van Zandt will get this by her coaches letting her know that this is, you know, this is kind of the, like, she just lost her Reebok sponsorship. Like, this is kind of the be all and end all for her. Eh? She needs to win this, and you imagine her coaches will come with a game plan to beat Ostovich.
Yeah, absolutely. I do fancy her to win. Ostovich has a clear path, and that's the grappling, and perhaps grabbing a sub or keeping it on the ground and controlling things. But I don't like her chances of doing that. Yeah. Alright, on to the next fight of the night. This is quite a fun one. A rematch of a fight that took place in 2014. We have, and recently re-signed, interestingly enough, as a flyweight, I believe, to the UFC for 4 fights. Number 2, Joseph Benavidez versus number 8 ranked Dustin Ortiz. These guys met in 2014, where Joe B took a pretty clean decision, I thought. We watched it again this morning. I'll let you lead off on this one, Matty.
Yeah, sure. I'm excited to watch this fight, to see what happens. Dustin Ortiz, aka the never-ending torso. I always like seeing a rematch, especially when there's been a large amount of time kind of between the first contest. I love watching Benavidez fight. I enjoyed watching the fight back this morning, just because of how dynamic his game and well-rounded his game was, and that's 5 years ago. I think the key to success to this fight for Joseph Benavidez will be similar to the last one. When he gives lots of looks on the feet, lots of stance switching, and leads to the body with his hands, I think the kicks are really going to open up on Ortiz's head again. Ortiz has a tendency to drop his hands a lot in the pocket, and Benavidez likes to rip to the body and then come back up top. I think there's a Benavidez in that fight was able to land hooks a lot in the pocket. Yeah. He throws his punch on an arc that kind of makes his knuckles wrap rather than turning his knuckles in and putting his body behind it. So I think he points a lot there. But I don't see him knocking him out with the hands. I think the key for Benavidez is to outpoint Ortiz, or trying to get him with the head kick.
I think I find this fight super interesting as well. Mainly, the big thing I'm looking at is, so you look at Joe B in recent fights, his game looks really similar to how it did back then.
Yeah.
And as he ages, how much has his game dropped off, if at all? And I think Ortiz has definitely made some improvements with his stand up.
Yeah.
But I still definitely favour Benavidez in this fight. I just think his game's too complete, and Ortiz's strength is supposed to be the wrestling.
Yeah.
And in their first fight, Benavidez clearly won like nearly every single grappling or wrestling exchange. Yeah. So
I think there's a reason for that. Like Ortiz, he got one takedown and it was off a scramble.
Yeah.
Where he was actually countering the Benavidez attempt. He was kind of mesmerised by the movement of Benavidez and threw a couple good, nice, long jabs in the first round, but didn't bring anything behind them. I think if he wants to get Benavidez on his back, it has to be behind the jab.
Yeah.
And the jab has to be long and hard, and he needs to throw it in volume, so maybe double up on it to shoot.
Yeah.
To cover that space.
Yeah.
And then really work hard to consolidate the position, because Benavidez is really good at scrambling.
Yeah.
I think there's another key to success here for Ortiz, which is the body kick. I watched him throw it a couple of times in the first kick. I've seen him in the first fight. I've seen him throw it again in other fights, and it's real hard. One of the things about his body is that because he's 97% torso, his hips are really low to the ground, and the body kick comes up in quite a nice arc with quite a lot of torque. And I think if he can land a couple of those, then feint with his hip, if Benavidez is in the southpaw position, that might provide him the lead leg to get single leg to transition to his takedowns.
Yeah.
But what he needs to be careful of is Benavidez' guillotine, which is second to none, really. Or bro, what's your fucking bro's name? What's Guillotine Master's name?
Brian Ortega.
Brian Ortega. Yeah. Second to Brian Ortega, probably.
Yeah. I think another thing I'll be looking for in this fight is Ortiz's positional game on the feet. He was like right in front of Benavidez a lot, and Benavidez like countless times in the fight
lapped it up.
Yeah, led with hooks and just kept landing them. So I imagine Ortiz has improved in that regard.
Yep.
And he will have to if he wants to win this fight. Regardless, I'm going Joe B by decision again.
Same here.
Yeah, I think it will be closer this time, but I still think Joe B is the much better fighter in all areas. Next fight of the night, we have Gregor Gillespie, number 15th ranked lightweight versus Yancy Medeiros. This is fun.
This could be a really fun fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any fight with Yancy Medeiros is fun.
Yeah, no doubt. Looking at this, what did I have? I had some notes on this from my last video. So, Gillespie 12-0, 5 KOs, 5 subs. He's 5-0 in the UFC.
Yeah,
that's good reading, eh? Yancy had been on a really good run just before he had that loss to Cerrone, which was a real fucking. He fought like a lunatic.
Yeah.
In that fight.
Yeah. Which is the entertaining part, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
They're crazy Hawaiians.
Yeah, and man, I remember, when Max was pulled for that concussion and everyone's thinking like him and Yancy been beating the piss out of each other in sparring.
Yeah. I'm thinking like that. I saw some media during the week and he was saying, I train in the jungle, I'm a fucking gorilla. Like that's his mentality towards training and sparring and shit.
Yeah. It'll be interesting because I can't see him taking any other approach, and I think that approach is going to get him into a lot of trouble
with Gillespie, man.
Yeah, a guy with immense pressure, great takedowns. He's pretty handy on the feet as well. Like I said, he's got the 5 KOs and the 5 subs. I just think, how long does this fight last before Gillespie's pace and pressure kills Yancy? And I feel like it's gonna maybe be in the second round. Yancy's tough, but I feel like it's inevitable. But I can't pick a method of victory because Gillespie's so versatile, and I think it's not so much a matter of a KO or a submission. It's what happens before the finish. So
look, I can't pick a method for victory here either. With someone Medeiros can move around on his back, man. He's got long limbs, and sometimes they can be useful for tying up and negating the ground and pound. But when you're long and dangly off your back and you're trying to shut down, you can provide opportunities for submissions and people to take you back. So let's go Gillespie by second round submission.
Yeah, cool, excellent. That's going to be fun though for as long as it lasts. Where are we? Up to the co-main event of the evening now. We have fucking 2-0 Greg Hardy versus Alan the Pretty Boy Crowder.
Man, I was so bummed when I saw that this fight was on the card.
Yeah,
especially co-main event on the first ESPN thing. Like, I get the UFC's angle, and I get the importance to and trying to capitalize on a more mainstream ESPN audience who recognize the Greg Hardy name.
Yeah,
but it's just so it cheapens all the it cheapens the path that so many guys, the hard road that so many guys take to get there, and the hard road so many guys have taken but not managed to get there yet.
You know who should be in the slot? Alexander Hernandez against Cerrone.
And who do you want? There's so many people who you'd put in front of this fucking knucklehead, regardless of whether or not he should be on the card in the first place, due to the shit that's been happening in the background with his alleged domestic violence convictions.
Yeah, which he hasn't addressed. So, coming up to. It'll be interesting to see media this week if Hardy does media, because I feel like before he makes his debut, UFC fans need some answers. Like, because, you know, we work in second chances, right?
Yeah.
That's our field of work, and totally believe in them. But there's some steps you got to take, especially if you're a grown-ass man, before you're offered the second chance. And one of those steps is fucking like a bit of humility and admission of wrongdoing, and sense that you wish to do better and be better and are sorry for what you've done. And there's been none of that. It's just like, oh, here's this guy.
Yeah.
He's could be a star, perhaps, but he probably fucking won't even be. But
well, they've been feeding him bumps, straight up, and it's not like that's what they're continuing to do on this. Yeah.
So, and another interesting point about this, so dude isn't right with himself, because if you watched his last KO in the Contender Series, he got, so you know, you watch someone, they get a KO and they like start celebrating immediately. Yeah. This guy has a relationship with violence that's unhealthy.
Yeah.
He got the KO and he was still like, and like if you've worked in a place where young people fist fight each other and you're familiar with de-escalation and people who have unhealthy relationships with violence, this isn't a guy that's come up doing combat sports and learned to control violence and do it in a controlled environment. You could see the look on his face, and it's a look I've seen 100 times.
Yeah, he doesn't have the appreciation for what it means inside of the like this kind of arena, right?
Yeah, and it was gross. Yeah. To see, if you're interested, go have a look, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
That's a good observation. Yeah. I hardly want to watch this fight.
Yeah. Well, fuck. I was a bit torn about this. I thought, fuck, maybe I shouldn't watch it, or...
Who's this Crowder penis anyway?
Who is he? So Crowder, he came from Bellator, then he beat some guy on the Contender Series, then came in the UFC and lost to Justin Willis.
Big Willis.
Pretty quickly in the first round.
Yeah.
So that's the other disappointing thing about this too, is it's a set-up fight for Hardy.
Yeah, as co-main event.
Yeah. Right. It's like, come on, man. Give him someone that you think can compete with him, because they've obviously given him someone they think he's going to blast through. Yeah. So the pick is Hardy by KO, probably in the first round.
Yeah.
But fuck.
And me still Hardy giving a fuck.
How good. This is why you got to watch it though. And this,
if Alan knocks him out.
And this is what they're banking on too, which sucks, because it's win-win for UFC. If you hate Hardy, and you're going to watch to see, fuck. Imagine if he gets knocked out. That would be so sick.
Yeah.
But hands clasped together. Let's hope that Hardy gets the piss beat out of him. It would be hilarious. But the good news is, if he does get through some fights, you know who he's going to meet?
Who's that?
Derek Lewis.
Big Lewis, eh?
Derek Lewis.
That'd be pretty good. He hates him, eh?
Derek Lewis hates woman beaters. So there's always that light at the end of the tunnel.
My pick for this is Alan Crowder by... fucking Peruvian necktie.
Sweet. Yeah. Just imagine. Alright. Finally, we get to the main event.
A fight that I'm really excited about.
Fuck yeah. It's really interesting. Great fight. Right? So we have the flyweight champion, newly crowned, controversially, Henry Cejudo versus the... What are they called? 135ers?
Bantams.
Yeah, bantamweight champion TJ Dillashaw. I heard someone say what TJ stood for the other day. It was hilarious.
What does it stand for?
I'll find out. Thanks. Just 1 second. Do you want to talk about this fight, Matty?
I want to talk about Thunderbirds and about how Cejudo made the transition from Thunderbirds over to the UFC, but I'll reserve that.
He does look like a fucking Thunderbird.
Well, I think this is a really interesting fight, because I've heard a lot of people talking about how Cejudo's kind of newly developed karate style is such an effective means of being able to kind of round out his game and compete with guys. And you know, we remember what he did to Reyes, like it was really effective against him. But then when he came up against DJ in a fight that I certainly scored towards DJ and not towards Cejudo, and I think a lot of other people did as well, the DJ definitely got the better of the striking exchanges. That was my feel.
Yeah.
And what you've really got is a guy who's an Olympic wrestler and an amazing wrestler, and he's developed the striking style. So he's gone from a terrible striker to like a better than average striker. Now, when you look at TJ Dillashaw, you're dealing with the best of the best in terms of striking ability. Incredibly technical. He's got power with his feet and with his hands.
Yeah.
Above anything, he's incredible at being able to implement a game plan, but also switch it up mid-fight and come up with ways to win.
Yeah.
So I think that's where we're at with the striking in this fight. How do you think it marries up?
Yeah, I feel likewise. So, like you were saying, Cejudo couldn't really hang with DJ in the striking department. I think TJ's a better striker than DJ.
Oh, he is.
Not as fast, obviously, because no one really is. But I think TJ's far trickier. He's got more weapons.
Yeah.
I just can't see. And like, so Cejudo, he managed, credit to him in that last fight, he managed to get DJ down quite a few times.
Yeah.
I think TJ's going to be harder. This is all assuming that the weight cut goes well for TJ. This is the factor that could alter all these things. But I don't know, when you hear TJ talk about fighting and doing this weight cut, and it's just like, he seems like one of the most committed to the sport guys you've ever come across, right? Like,
look, I agree. He's like a master, or he's a master of the game. But he's always a student of the game too. Like, he always evolves.
Yeah.
I agree. Like, he managed to get DJ down a few times in that fight, but what you see with Cejudo is he can get top position, but when he gets there, not much happens.
Yeah.
So not much happens. Now, TJ, he might be able to get him down. He's not going to be able to submit him. I don't think Cejudo has a submission to his record, but he ain't. Regardless, he ain't submitting TJ. If he can get him down, he won't be able to keep him down. And if you consider that TJ, for me, it's almost a given that his style is going to negate a karate style, a lateral karate style.
Yeah.
So the difference then, and the point, the path to victory for Cejudo has to be takedowns. He's going to need to take TJ down and keep him down in 3 or more rounds to win this fight, isn't he?
Yeah.
Can you see that happening? I can't see it happening. What I see happening here is TJ Dillashaw putting Cejudo under the pump and potentially coming out with a knockout on that blind side of the karate style. And because he can find funny little arcs in his kick, and he can kick you behind the head, and I see that happening pretty early, probably within a couple rounds.
Yeah.
But I think before that, we might see Cejudo get TJ to the ground, but not much happen.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. And I'm just like picking this fight based on the presumption that TJ is going to get through the weight cut sweep.
Yeah, true.
And get to fight night all good. I think in terms of getting takedowns and whatnot, like, Cejudo's going to have so much to deal with on the feet.
Yeah, for real.
They're not going to come easy if they do come at all. Yeah. So, I'm backing TJ pretty confidently. And I can't remember what I picked in my video I did last week, but I'm going to go with finish, maybe round 3.
Okay.
And, it looks like a head kick. That's a big-ass head.
It's a big head, and his ears are just at the base of his neck, so it's pretty easy to kick behind it.
Yeah, I think Henry's going to get his little head kicked off. Factors to consider. Yeah, so exciting. Factors to consider. Say a guy isn't going to make weight. Do they just change this to a 135 title fight? Right?
I'm not sure that they can, because it needs to be sanctioned with the commission.
Yeah, right.
And I'm not sure what the timelines would be on that.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, man! It's the UFC, and it's ESPN, so it's bankrolled, right?
Yeah.
So maybe.
Yeah.
I don't even think about that. Yeah.
Dealing with the New York Commission, we're seeing some fighters pulled off cards.
Yeah.
And they've argued later that they were fine. It was just normal shit you see during a weight cut.
Yeah, true.
So
true, good point.
I'm feeling hopeful and a little apprehensive that we get to see this.
Yeah.
I wonder, because they can agree, right, if they miss weight to fight at a catch weight, so surely they could fight at 135, I think, maybe.
Yeah, or would that still just be called a catch weight fight?
Yeah.
Yeah. But still at the 135 bracket.
Yeah, maybe they offer the title shot to. Here's Marley.
What do you like about John Jones, buddy?
Because he wins.
Why does he win though?
Because he cheats.
Yeah, he cheats, eh?
Good insight from wee Marley
Special
there.
guest.
Yeah. As much as we told him John Jones is a cheat, he decided he liked him. So hey, what can you do? We picked that fight.
We picked it.
Alright, cool. Let's move on to other things. What do we got on the schedule here? Preliminary fights you like. I guess we got to talk about Hernandez versus Cerrone, right?
Yeah, I like that. That should be on the main card. But I get the logic behind it.
Yes.
What else have we got on that card? Let's talk about Hernandez Cerrone.
Yeah. Cerrone coming back down to 155 for this.
Yeah.
He wasn't going well at lightweight before he left. But this whole time at at welter, he's been talking about coming back down. He's finally doing it, and they've given him this kid that's just been steamrolling people.
Yeah, he looks like he's carved out a marble.
You know who Alexander Hernandez looks like? There's an actor in the new Black Mirror movie.
See, another Alexander the Great.
I fucking
People
think
need to put that shit away.
Yeah. What about Alexander the...
Wristlock.
I'm just trying to find out the name of the actor he looks like.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, I fancy Hernandez to run through Cerrone, I think. Yeah. I think he's not going to like doing that weight cut again after, a few years at welterweight, eh? Yeah.
He's not young anymore, so those weight cut. Can you bugger off now, please? That weight cut starts taking a toll on you, man. And it doesn't get easier; it gets harder as you get on in age too.
Sure.
Especially with all those Monster Energy drinks that Cerrone puts away, they're just dissolving his liver.
Well, maybe he's better off now because it appears like he shares the Monster Energy drinks with his newborn child. So.
Yeah, why not? Newborns love Monster Energy drink.
Do they what? Why can't I find this? What was that new Black Mirror called? It's called Bandersnatch.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Because I have to find the name of the actor that Alexander Hernandez looks like now. Because people will crack up, or maybe not, but you know.
Oh, this is great television.
It is.
Yeah.
Starring, I don't know what these people are. Here we go. Will Poulter.
He does look exactly like Will Poulter.
William Jack Poulter.
That's the guy from Maze Runner, yeah.
Yeah. The Revenant, Detroit, a few things. Look him up.
Look him up. He looks like Hernandez. Lucky that guy's not fighting Donald Cerrone.
Oh, no, he'd get his butt whooped. I'm going back to TJ Dillashaw's real name. I had it up before. It is... Tyler Jeffrey Dillashaw. He sounds like he's like the heir to some fucking, I don't know, oil fortune.
He probably is, isn't he? He's from that part of the world. Then he changed his fight name again recently as well, didn't he? From like the Rattlesnake to Lieutenant Dan or some shit.
You serious?
Yeah.
Fuck, I don't know.
Dude.
Hey, Marley's trying to obscure the camera's view of our beautiful faces. Alright, anything else we're interested in on this card? Well, Sandhagen versus what's his name, Lineker was going to be incredible. That was the fight I was looking forward to most, but Lineker's out, so we get Sandhagen versus some guy, Batista, making his debut. Bit of a bummer. Muhammad versus Neil is a sick fight.
But Bermudez versus Edwards, I was interested in that. I started looking into that fight.
Yeah, that could be fun. Menifeld versus Castro. I'm interested.
What's your fight of the night on this card? What do you reckon? Who's going to go deep? Who's going to go hard in the paint?
Man, there's a few contenders, eh? Like, if Yancey can hang in there for a while,
That could be it.
that could be it.
That could be it.
Cejudo and Dillashaw could put on something amazing.
Yeah.
Benavidez, Ortiz could be great.
Yeah.
Hernandez, Cerrone could be great.
I'll tell you what's not the fight of the night. You know, I choose reverse fight of the night. Calderwood, Lipinski, or whoever the fuck she is.
Nah, I'm excited to see Lipinski. She looks fun.
Calderwood never looks fun.
Nah, yeah, that's a good point. So
She's reverse fun.
hopefully Lipinski gets a quick KO.
And I'm your co-host, Paige Van Sant.
And just me. Alright,
Fuck your face.
fuck your face up. We haven't done that. We haven't even discussed this yet. So take a quick look through that card, Matty. Most annoying face on the card.
Well, probably Hardy, considering like the... No, and I'd like to... Do you know what I'd like to see here? I'd like to see Derek Lewis fuck Hardy's face up.
Same.
That's excellent. I hope that happens.
Yeah.
I hope that Crowder doesn't prove him necktie him just so that
he can get
has
to
a
Derek
chance.
Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got nothing to add to that.
That'll do it. Yeah, I think enough said.
That's enough said for this week's segment of Fuck Your Face Up. Did
Yeah.
we leave a gap for the music? We didn't, eh? Oh well.
We'll do it.
We'll do it. Next on our schedule, we have... Fuck, I keep bringing up the wrong thing.
Oh,
This
noticed
is
that.
some bullshit. Oh, bet picks. Alright, let's have a quick look. Where we at? I've had to revise this a bunch because a bunch of shit has occurred with fights dropping out. Even researching next week's card, which plug, I'll be back on Monday or Tuesday with the picks and predictions video. It's not helpful that this internet keeps dropping out. Do you want to call Dodo again?
Yeah, I'll just call him up.
Matt loves talking to Dodo on the phone. Alright, so these aren't coming up. Let's go on to whatever we're doing next.
Comments.
That's going to require the internet also. Fuck, we haven't picked a naughtiest boy or anything. We severely overlooked.
There's no... I had a quick think. There's no, like, endearingly naughty boys on this card.
Nah.
There's just actual naughty boys.
They could be... Oh, look, the picks are working. That's good. They could be, not active this week. It could be any fighter doing something naughty.
Well, while you go through
you know who's the naughtiest boy?
Pause.
Scott Coker.
Scott Coker.
He tried to sanction a bout with a 0-12. We're doing the segment. Hold on. Go back.
I keep losing at deals, and I don't want to make a deal anymore.
Alright. Welcome back to Naughty Boy Fight Picks. Welcome to the segment called Naughtiest Boy of the Week. This week, our Naughtiest Boy of the Week is Bellator promoter Scott Coker, who tried to sanction a fight between a 0-12 amateur fighter and a 2-1
discarded pillow
amateur fighter.
Yeah. Fuck. We looked her up. This chick, what's
yeah.
her name? Something Beautiful Violence or something. We looked her up and she said, she's the headlining fighter out of this gym in New York that when we went to their Facebook page, they had 33 followers. She's headlining some crumb ass event over there in 0-12 as an amateur. Obviously, the Combat Sports Board has not issued her a professional license, so Croker shit, the Bellator promoter, can't actually put him on his show.
And for a guy that likes to, when something bad happens promotionally with the UFC, Coker's always in there with a tweet throwing shade. Yeah. It's like, motherfucker, you put on Data 5000 versus Kimbo Slice. Now you're trying to do this shit. What else they done? They try to pay that guy $300 to fight.
Yeah.
$300 win bonus, by the way.
I've been paid $300 to fight before.
Yeah.
Good as.
Good day, eh?
Wasn't on Bellator though.
Good day's work.
Yeah.
Alright, that's this week's Naughtiest Boy of the Week.
Croker, you're a naughty boy.
Yeah, and a bit of a dickhead, so we're not sending you out a patch.
No.
Alright, so back to the picks this week. Fuck, this is a complicated ass list. But straight picks, I got Carl Roberson over Glover Teixeira. I put 2 units on that at $2.05. I may chuck some more on that because I'm pretty confident in that. I'm not sure why Robeson's the underdog. Other straight pick, I got 6 units on Alexander Hernandez over Donald Cerrone at $1.50. Pretty fucking confident in that. Down to the parlays, I got Hardy, Gillespie, and Hernandez parlayed. And then some of these flow over into future events. So I got Gillespie, Johnny Walker, Israel Adesanya, Robert Whittaker parlayed together. That's a 4-leg one, which I believe will come in. I got Dillashaw and Lipsky from this event. I got Dillashaw, Hardy, and Max Griffin from next week. I had a parlay with 2 fight doesn't go to decisions. One was the original Glover fight, but that's pulled. So now I just got Hernandez versus Cerrone doesn't go to decision, 3 units. I have a little play on Vinicius Castro Moreira to get a submission over Alonzo Menafield. That's paying $5.50. And I have a parlay on Sanhagen, Gillespie, and Livia Souza from next week. 3 units on that. I'll put some other ones on, but we'll get to those next week. And that's my picks for this week. Good luck to everyone betting.
What I have to say is that I've watched Todd over the last fortnight put an extensive amount of research into these fights. How many fights do you reckon you watched over the last fortnight? Buttloads.
Too many, yeah.
Buttloads.
My butt is full of fights. All the fights I watched.
It is, I can see.
Hey, Dad, is there something in my butt?
I don't.
Don't worry.
I think so.
Our dad's dying slowly on the
But yeah, I think I addressed it in the last video. I've been fucking around, not really researching, but I'm back to it now. Back home, got my TV set up. Yeah. Alright, so let's look at some comments that we got over the last couple of weeks.
What a stinky Flowada's been bet.
I hope so. Where do we... I
Hope he survived the New Year's period.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm getting around to the... Oh, yeah, there he is.
There he goes.
Should
we start with Stinky Flowada? He's always a good way to start.
Yeah. Stinky Flowada says, Jesus fucking Christ. Really disappointed with Matt with his Stephen Hawking glasses. Didn't break out some fight science quantum string theory shit. Instead, he just ended up looking like Brains off Thunderbirds, but on Aussie bush shrooms. He's lucky I have a man crush on him, or I'd use my considerable social media presence to destroy him. No, I don't mean that. Just seeing UFC on those Hero Pride jumpers made me want to flex a bit. Love you guys. XXX.
Love you too, Stinky Flowada.
What is it? Do you know what a Flowada is?
I don't know.
Sounds Brazilian. Like a Brazilian... I imagine like a Brazilian canoe.
Yeah, I know. Flowada sounds like when you take like a shit in a tissue and just like hide it somewhere in someone's room. That's like a Flowada.
Well, you just made my Brazilian canoe comment xenophobic with that comment. Sydney C says, nice tattoo, guys. Well...
Next. Thanks, Sid.
Caveman Cray says, IKEA Viking got cucked once again by a... I don't know if I want to say that word.
Next.
Kano says, huh? Chris Greaves says, the sound video quality is on point, guys. Great podcast. Really glad you and your brother are doing this together. He is very insightful when it comes to fighting.
Thanks. And that's about it. I'm not insightful about anything else. I appreciate the what do you call it? Moral support.
Yeah. Offensive Sock says, Happy New Year's, boys. Remember when I commented Shevchenko was the best women's fighter? And
I do remember that.
Man. And we were both just like, nope.
But she's still not.
Well, okay, so this is where the arguments evolved. Is Shevchenko as a 125er has given Nunes, the now 135, 145 champ, her 2 toughest fights, and one of those fights a lot of people thought Shevchenko won.
So is she the best? She's not the best.
Nah, I don't think so, but there's an argument. I can see the argument.
Yeah.
If you're talking pound for pound, she's a smaller woman, and she's pushed Nunes further than anyone else has, including Cyborg, Rousey, blah blah. But
I remember when Offensive Sock said that, and I still disagree, but I can also see where he's coming from.
Yeah, I still disagree, but I think the case is stronger.
Case is stronger.
Yeah.
Talk soon.
Wayne Ruddock says, considering what Assunção has accomplished, do you agree with the betting odds listing him as underdog in his upcoming bout with Moraes? I agree with him being the dog, but yeah, I think it's closer than the odds are saying. And so
That'd be worth having a look at, that bet.
yeah, I've nearly finished my research for that card and I haven't got to that fight yet. I don't think I will bet it because I think I favour Moraes, but not at that money. But man, that's an excellent fight. There's a few real good ones from next week's card. The card in Brazil. Maze Chaser MMA says, great to see the production videos. Great to see the prediction videos up again, and the new show with Maddie and company is great. You can tell all the hard work put in, and both of you are hilarious. Why, thank you. Thanks. My question is about Cerrone. Do you believe people are underestimating his experience and skill in this fight? Can't compare Hernandez to Perry because one seems to fight with emotion, but could we see a similar upset? Thanks.
What do you reckon?
Well, I think it'd be foolhardy.
Not Greg Hardy.
Nah, foolhardy to count Cerrone out. He's an incredible fighter. He's proved it many times. He's a veteran. He's savvy. He's always got that submission game that's a ever-present threat to his opponent if fight goes to the ground. But yeah, I think Hernandez is a beast and a future contender, and I think he runs through Cerrone. But I'm prepared to be shocked and be wrong.
I wouldn't be shocked. I think that's kind of what he's getting at. I don't think they're underestimating it, but he's certainly got the skills and the experience to win the fight.
Yeah. Matt Dunstan says Picogram for Picogram, my fave new podcast. That's good too.
That is good.
Now we got a lot of comments from Mr. Average Hockey Fan. Should I just run through them all? Just subscribe. Love the recap, fellas. My personal favorite fight was Volkanovski versus Mendes. That shit was badass. Agree. And thank you for subscribing.
Yep.
That shit helps us out a great deal.
Thanks. Shot J.
What else he said? Mario Yamazaki is a god among unemployed men. Hell yeah. Killer Shaw by head kick KO. Oh, that's what we're just saying too.
Agree.
Yeah, agree. Joshua.
We're getting close with the battery there, my J.
Oh shit! All right, let's get there. Joshua Johnson says, "What's the safest 2-fighter parlay or 3?" I'm liking Hernandez, Gillespie, TJ Lipsky, Joe B, and now obviously what's his name? Sandhagen. Sandhagen's. So I go saying like Sandhagen, Gillespie, and Hernandez, or Sandhagen, Gillespie, Lipsky, or TJ, some shit like that. We got the Downhill gave us the most extensive breakdown of what he sees happening in these fights. So it's
Holy shit.
Yeah, super detailed and real interesting reading, which I can't go through, but I'd recommend viewers to go have a look. It's on my picks and predictions video from last week. And now,
I guess if you've got some similar insights that you want to share, we'd be keen to check them out on the comments. So chuck them in. We'll go through them and
definitely interested to hear your thoughts and read them. I enjoyed that. We got Regan Aiken and Mark Bush both saying essentially that. So Regan says very simple fight. Cejudo will dominate him, wear him out, and finish on the 4th round. Dillashaw will be worried about after the fight because Cejudo will be going after Dillashaw's bout. It's going to be a bad night for Dillashaw. Trust me. Then Mark Bush says Cejudo is easy money Saturday.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't agree. But I've seen quite a few people coming from this angle. I'm not really seeing it, but
ready to be proven wrong.
Yeah, good luck to you.
All right.
Do you want to grab the charger?
Yeah, but it's not long enough.
Oh, okay.
It's like a real disaster.
Because we had where are we? We had a bit of news to get to.
Yeah, I'll grab the charger.
Alright, sweet as. I'll just talk some shit for the moment. We're going to discuss Greg Hardy, but we've done that. In other news, Anthony Smith versus John Jones is next up for the light heavyweight title. Lots of discussion around this. Everyone thinks Anthony Smith is going to get mopped, which I believe will be the case. But I like that the fight is happening. I like that it's a legit contender. I think Smith has earned the shot. He had a good year after he moved up to light heavyweight. So I think he deserves that shot, and I like that there's some normalcy around how the title picture works with a guy earning the spot, getting the fight regardless of what you think of the fight. You like Smith versus
I had no idea what you were talking about because I was just plugging the laptop into the charger.
Thanks for that.
You think that'd be a given before you start with a professional production like this, but alas, I've been punched many times in the brain.
I'm gonna have a word to our key grip directly after this.
All right, I'll look forward to the discussion.
Yeah, Jones Smith.
I reckon Smith's can create enough chaos to potentially get Jones. I think that, and were you talking about whether or not we talking about the matchup or whether or not he deserves the shot?
Just any thoughts generally?
I am excited to see that fight. I'm excited to. I was surprised to see it, but I'm excited to see it. And I think that Smith might be the kind of person that can be fucking crazy enough and create enough chaos to get it done.
You know what will be sad? Anthony Smith seems like a real good dude. John Jones seems like a really, really bad person.
Oh, fuck.
So that could be depressing. Andrade is getting a shot at Rose Namajunas' title in her home country of Brazil.
Damn, she is from Brazil too.
Yeah, and Andrade opened as a betting favourite, which doesn't often happen against a champion.
I see why. Stylistically, I see why.
Yeah, I like Andrade.
I like that. Yeah. Is that Rose's first fight back since the bus incident? In New York?
Because she fought. Didn't she fight Joanna?
Regardless, she hasn't fought for a while, eh?
Yeah, it has been a little while.
Yeah, dang.
But the last fight was the rematch. They've made Usman versus Woodley.
This buzzed me out.
Yeah.
What the fuck does the interim belt mean?
No.
What does it mean?
Nothing.
Like, literally, what does it mean? So it used to be it was your number one contender and you get the shot when it becomes available. But if it doesn't mean that, what is it worth? Other than holding your pants up. You look real silly trying to wear one of those belts, hold your pants up. So literally, what is it worth? I tend to agree. I think it cheapens it. It doesn't. It makes me less interested to see interim title shots. I think it's a poor move on behalf of the UFC.
Yeah, and like regardless of what you think of Colby, he earned the interim, therefore has earned the title shot, and also promotionally,
it's a better fight to watch.
It's like it's the more marketable fight.
Yeah, fucking is, and
not that like because I think Usman's right behind Covington. Like they've essentially achieved the same things in their recent fights, but Colby did it first and he got the gold.
Yeah.
So I'm happy. Like I think Usman versus Woodley's a real interesting fight. I'm happy to watch it, but I just feel like they've really fucked Colby over some trivial bullshit. But
yeah, I'm with you there, bro.
That's how the UFC does. Feels surreal and doesn't feel like it's going to happen, and there's quite a bit of this happening recently in the UFC, but Cain Velasquez is back next month versus Francis Ngannou.
Fuck.
You got to think that if Cain looks anything like his former self, he wins this fight. I think he's a better wrestle boxer than Stipe.
He's a wrestler, yes sir.
Thanks, Marley. So yeah, I think that's probably a wash for Velasquez, and fuck, the UFC seems to hate Ngannou, eh? Poor cunt.
Yeah, this isn't like it. I love watching Ngannou, and I get excited when he fights. Yeah. And then sometimes when I start watching the fight, I'm not so excited like when he fought Big Puas.
Yeah.
But putting him against a wrestler after we saw what Stipe did to him is just like it doesn't make me excited to watch the fight.
Well, he hasn't caught a break since his loss to Stipe. He was supposed to lose the fight to Curtis Blades.
Yeah.
And he won it.
Yeah.
That wasn't the plan. And now they're like, oh, here, have Cain Velasquez. Poor cunt.
Velasquez been drinking so many goddamn Monster Energy drinks too.
They should have given Ngannou Greg Hardy.
So yeah. I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
That's all I want to see.
He could uppercut his head into the
right off.
Yeah. News that broke this morning, and this is bizarre. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson mashed up with Anthony Pettis.
What? Really?
Yeah.
You're into that sort of stuff?
So I had this written down, but I wasn't going to tell you till we did the podcast, so you could
I'm excited.
get a live reaction.
I'm glad I went and got the charger.
Yeah.
Wow.
Strange one, right? But
Yeah, it'd
fun.
be like kick sparring fight.
Yeah.
That is a fun fight.
Yeah.
I like to see that. So, Pettis isn't going to be the kind of guy that sits back and lets Wonderboy do his thing. Dang. We're going to see some crazy shit in that fight.
Yeah.
Lots of spinning shit.
I'm going to favour Wonderboy just because of the size.
Well, Wonderboy wins that fight, man.
Yeah.
But it'll be an entertaining fight. And Pettis ain't easy to put away, eh? We've already seen that recently. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. A weird one, but a fun one. In sad news, Jason Knight's been let go from the UFC.
Fuck. That hurt when I heard that.
Yeah, man.
My little mate.
It sucks. Like, I wish there was a place for exciting action fighters that aren't necessarily winning a bunch. I understand why. Like, there's got to be some kind of, you can't lose heaps of fights and stay in the UFC. There's a standard that's supposed to be setting, right?
I've got this other weird thing. Like, I sparred with Jason Knight and trained with him a bit at Phuket Top Team.
Do you talk shit when he's sparring?
He is the most lovely, quiet, unassuming character, and I hadn't seen him fight yet.
Oh, right, yeah.
And he was fighting. Fuck, who was he fighting? He was fighting someone who was training down the road. And if anyone's been to Phuket and trained at Phuket Top Team, Tiger Muay Thai is about probably 400 meters down the Soi in Chao Long. And he was fighting someone. This quite often happens where they're in opposite camps. He was fighting someone down there, but he's so lovely and unassuming. And then I saw him in the fight, and he's talking all this shit and like giving the fingers to the corner and stuff. And I love that kid, man. And he's so entertaining to watch. He's just got really poor fight IQ. Like, that's what it is. Trying to play like meat hooks and fucking all that 10th Planet stuff like it's a jiu-jitsu fight, but it's MMA fight.
Yeah.
I'm bummed.
This is the most I've ever felt like when a fighter's been released from the UFC, that I will follow where he goes, and when he's fighting in another promotion, I will actively try and watch his fights.
I hope he goes to Risen and fights Charles Crazy Horse Bennett.
Right.
That's that. Or Mark Hunt over on
Mark Hunt.
Dream.
Last bit of news we got to get to, the full card for UFC Melbourne, which we will be attending, it's been finalised. So
hopefully our media passes are in the mail, eh?
Yeah. Who sends those out, you reckon? That security guard that touches everyone?
Yeah.
But yeah, some local fans were complaining about the fight card, saying it's pretty thin.
I'm not complaining about the fight card. My complaint is that there's only one Melbourne fighter on the card. That shits me. Yeah. There's only one Melbourne boy on the card out of so many people that come out of Melbourne and Victoria.
Yeah.
That shits me.
Yeah, it's a bit shitty. Kroot's on there.
Yeah, he's the one. Yeah. And then we've got a bunch of New Zealanders, two of the boys.
Yeah.
We've got two people fighting at a Australian Top Team in Sydney, and then everyone else is from another country.
There's
get out of it.
So they added Lando yesterday against some guy I've never heard of, but I'm real excited to see Lando Veneta live. Teruto Ishihara is an entertaining fighter. Whether he wins or loses, could be going down the Jason Knight route.
Man, the card's great.
Yeah.
The card's great. Like, there's a lot of really good fights on there that I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, I'm not real sure what people are complaining about, saying it's a thin card. You're seeing Whittaker versus Gastelum for title, Adesanya versus Silva. It's crazy, and yeah, I'm fucking excited. It's gonna be fun. So that about wraps us up today. I just want to reiterate, join us for the live chat following the event. We're going to be out in sunny Torquay.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Same.
It's going to be sick. Join us for the live chat. Leave comments and we'll respond to them. And next week's video, I think there's like crazy amount of consecutive events.
Yeah, there is. We're going to be busy little boys, mate. Yeah. Naughty boys.
So we'll be checking in with you guys regularly. Please subscribe, like, hit us up for some conversation, and we'll see you next week.
The brothers.